In a good way, Where There's a Will is a very chaotic Cheers episode. This is the 12th episode of the second season, directed by the wonderful James Burrows. And this one focuses on a character called Malcolm Kramer, played by George Gaynes. And he visits Cheers and reveals that he has 6 months to live. Not a very cheery subject, but actually, Sam lets him work behind the bar because it's something Kramer did when he was younger and it made him feel like a young man again. And when he goes off to catch his flight, he leaves a tip in the jar that causes a lot of chaos. And I'll talk more about that in a moment with a spoiler warning. Maybe it's not really a spoiler because it's what the episode is about. But just in case you don't want to know too many details, I'll get into that in a moment. But this tip really causes a lot of problems. And the episode is all about greed and what the promise of any kind of money can do to people and can make them start to say really horrible, unkind things. And in a way, the episode's really uncomfortable, but it addresses, I think, a really important topic, and it does so in a way that does have some entertainment in it still. Coach has a task to do that's really awkward, but in a way that plays out really well. Cliff has some amazing lines. I think John Ratzenberger gave a great performance with the delivery of some quite complex lines, and I think it was very entertaining and very well done. Norm as well had some rather fun things to say. We also had a really fun opening with Carla and Cliff and the coat rack. Really enjoyed that. We also got to see snow. We don't often see snow at Cheers. I'm not sure if this is the first time we've seen snow. I can't quite remember, but when Cliff opens the door, we see the snowfall and it's beautiful, and I really loved it. It was very atmospheric and helped to make Cheers feel even cozier and warm and inviting as people come in from the snow. I enjoyed that a lot. I thought Kramer was a really great character. I really enjoyed what he brought to this, and the episode as a whole was really interesting. So, spoilers from now. I'll go into some more detailed thoughts about, first of all, what Kramer left in the tip jar, and then ultimately what happens with it. So, I will explain what happens at the end. So, Kramer leaves in the tip jar information that he's amending his will to leave $100,000 to, and I quote, the gang at Cheers. And there are two problems. One, it's not actually official, so there's nothing they can do with it, and that's when others encourage Coach to go out and collect Kramer, even though he's heading out for a flight. Apparently, they thought it was reasonable to bring him back, to bring this dying man back, and ask him to legalize his generous tip, which is a little bit uncomfortable to watch, but it's well done and helps to highlight this greed. The other problem is, who is the gang? Not knowing how to divide this money causes a lot of problems. And bearing in mind that when you divide it among the many people that are in Cheers that evening, they're not actually going to be getting a life-changing amount of money each if they divided it evenly. Yet they were all still wrapped up in this and very greedy for what is realistically not a significant amount of money once it's divided up. And it really shows how people can react when they think there's the promise of any kind of money. And it's very well done. It's very unpredictable with Sam. And the first time Sam cheated and kept the official document, I didn't see it coming and I thought it was very clever. The second time he did it, I did see it coming. And I think the audience saw it coming as well because there was no reaction when Diane left the room and Sam pulled out the official paperwork. The audience was silent, which I was quite surprised at. I was expecting some kind of, sucking in air through teeth, and we didn't get that, which was quite interesting. So that bit was maybe predictable, but it was lovely to see that Sam ultimately made the right decision, and I rather enjoyed it. It's a great episode. They managed to take this story about a dying man and actually make it suitably funny. It's not the most funny episode, but of course there's still a good amount of comedy in this, but also provide an interesting study on human behaviour when money is at the forefront of their actions. It's a brilliant episode, and one that I find to be really great to watch and obviously very, very thought-provoking. A very well done episode, no complaints, everything worked really well. I think it's one I will always enjoy watching.